Hey, what's up, guys? So it's been a while. It's been about a month and a half since I've moved to London, and I have finally remembered and had time to sit down and do another video kind of recapping what's been going on. So moving to London has been super strange. It's been, going from kind of suburb in Texas to smack dab in the middle of London in the middle of a city completely in a different country that's so different than my own. Pretty much where the only common thing is a similar spoken language. It's been different. The beginning was pretty hard because I was trying to figure out a place to live. I was trying to figure out a temporary place to live before I had a place to live. I was trying to figure out how to get a bank. I was trying to figure out how to get a phone. I was trying to figure out how to get around, how to get food, where to get groceries at, and kind of everything that comes in with the semantics of living somewhere. And I didn't really have any experience before that trying to guide me in what to do. So a lot of it was me going to the library, working on my pre-course work, and then figuring out how to get a bank and how to get a phone. When I realized you had to have an address in order to get a bank, but in order to get a bank, you basically have to have an address. And same thing with the phone. It was basically this weird interlocking system where you have to have one to get another, but you can't get one without really having the other. So really weird process. Finally figured it out once I moved into a place for a month, and I had a lease agreement that I could finally put my name to, and I could get a bank opened, and I could get the different stuff I needed to. But the first month was pretty much just me waking up, working on my pre-course work, and figuring out the different semantics of me living in London. I've pretty much done absolutely no London sightseeing at all, because I haven't really had the available time to do that, because most of the day has been me trying to figure out how the heck to live in London. So finally after a while, I figured it out. Even though being here, I wasn't able to get my ID to swipe into campus. So I was having to basically just kind of wander around and not really do anything. And so finally got my ID to the campus. And then at that point, I was able to use a gym for the first time in a month, where I was just getting destroyed because it's been a while. I was able to get the library and be able to read and have stable internet, or the temporary place I was at and the place before that just had crap internet. So I was having to survive off of that. And so then, kind of I'd been here for a month, and I really had no idea who I was living with. I haven't met him before. I hadn't really met anyone in the program minus 2 or 3 people. And so it then kind of comes the few days before classes start, and then start meeting a ton of people. There's different events that you can meet people at, and people are from all over the world, from literally South Korea to Romania to England to France to South America to places in Africa, literally from places I've even heard of before, and I feel like I'm decently well informed in geography. So it was just amazing hearing, people's stories, why they came to London Business School, why they're doing what they're doing, and it was, so cool just to finally be in a place where, back where I'm from Texas, it's very not international in different aspects. It's very much so you're going to meet people from Texas or, immigrants from other states or from neighboring country, Mexico. Very much so seldom that there's a ton of European or, Asian or African influence that you get to deal with on a daily basis. So that was kind of a completely different shift. And then what I realized was I'm kind of a stereotypical American in different aspects, pretty loud, pretty obsessed with the culture, my culture, because I began to realize how amazing, at least Texas is in the different aspects compared to Europe, just in the way that food is so cheap, places to live is so cheap, the food is amazing. Everything here has been, not gonna lie, pretty bland, minus a few places, but I quickly found myself kind of singing the praises of Texas, which I think is kind of funny, but great at the same time. So that was kind of the first month, and then I kind of began more of the school time. I was able to go to the National Portrait Gallery and then the National Museum, both of which were just absolutely incredible. Saw paintings, saw the architecture, just saw artifacts that was just mind-blowing. The National Portrait Gallery literally had some of the most beautiful architecture I've ever seen out of any building ever. It was just like incredible. I'd been there for hundreds and hundreds of years, I think. But that was like the architecture is almost prettier than the paintings inside. But then the National History Museum. No. British Museum. Yeah, the British Museum. I'm thinking the wrong names for some of these museums, but the British Museum was crazy. The first thing we really did when we walked in was go to the Egypt section, and smack dab in the middle, as soon as you enter, is Rosetta Stone, and I was just freaking out because the Rosetta Stone like changed the entire world of Egyptology. I was able to finally decipher the language, and I was just being crazy about it, like freaking out. And then the guys I was with, who were international, English, German, and Indian respectively, had no idea what it was, and I just couldn't believe it. But I was so happy. The museum was full of different artifacts, like Cleopatra's mummy. I had no idea it was here in England, but apparently it is. And seeing that and just seeing just all the different historical objects were just so cool, and I was freaking out, just so happy. But I did that before, and that was kind of like my main sightseeing that I've done so far, because most of it has been focused on trying to figure out how to live here. I found a church. I've been going there for a couple weeks now. I like it a lot. It's definitely different than America. It's a lot more Presbyterian influenced, so kind of more audience participation, I would say. But I've been enjoying that. But kind of the first few days before school started, for kind of like welcome and orientation day and everything, I met both my roommates, and they were both great. I loved both of them pretty much from the beginning. And so then we began the first week that was completely full of just either seminar or lectures and just everything in between. And what was so different about coming to London Business School compared to Texas A&M was the distinct difference in the mission of the school. Back at A&M, it's very much so about teaching you the material and teaching you kind of theory and teaching you different subjects. And when you go on to after college, you have to get trained again on the job. And it's not very career focused at A&M. It's very much so you're kind of to the dogs. You got to figure it out yourself. You have to get your own internships. You have to fight for your own grades. You pretty much are on your own. You're your own team. So the people that are successful there really have to fight for it. Versus here, it was a complete opposite, where basically they handpick the people from across the globe, the same people that are hardworking and fighting those circumstances, and so everyone is the same, or everyone's so smart, and everyone is just like incredible and like the different interesting things, like anywhere from pro surfers to just world travelers to business owners. It's insane that the school itself is a lot more career focused in the way that pretty much from the first day we are training to get a good career that we want to work, as opposed to getting taught certain things. So currently taking applied microeconomics, and complete opposite of what it was like in America, where I took it at A&M, where it's very theory based and very kind of theoretical. It's extremely applied. It's extremely real world circumstances. Applying it to economics to a South African aluminum factory being opened, and whether that's a good consulting idea for the company to do. Just different stuff like that has been so interesting, not even in the classwork too, but being able to say, oh yeah, I know how this works because I've done this kind of case and kind of worked this, and just being able to just understand that the entire point of me being here is to get a career afterwards, and that's what the school realizes. And while I'm still learning material, the big focus is on working to get a career. So having resume workshops, having alumni meetups, just everything is so helped it was mind-blowing for me to, come here and figure that out, which just made me really, happy, because it made me realize I made the right decision and where I came. It's been, people, have always asked me, like, everyone asked me, like, wow, like, why are you here, Harrison? Like, why are you coming to London for business school? Like, you have a bunch of good schools in America. And it's been really interesting to kind of, after, probably like 50 times of me telling people, figuring out exactly the reasons why I came over here, and seeing that mostly the reasons why are, it being a great school, and that, my passions for what I want to do afterwards are extremely driving force. And so one of the other questions has been like, oh, you think about staying, you think about, like, staying over here, and after, I think if you would have asked me, like, in the first week or two of me moving over here, I probably would have said absolutely not. But it's been, I've been getting more accustomed, getting more used to it, and getting, understanding it a lot more. And while I think I would very much still prefer to live in America, where the jobs are, at least for me, what I want to do, I'm a lot more open to the idea of staying over here than, the first few weeks I was here. And then, yeah, it's just been kind of like a summation. It's been a really amazing start to the semester, and to what the rest of the year is going to look like. And so I'm just super excited for what I'm going to learn, for the more the people I get to know and meet, and just literally having friends from, Switzerland, France, England, from Korea, from China, from everywhere has been absolutely ridiculous. And how we're able to just kind of be able to form this common bond, and being able to kind of see, like, while we're really, really different in some aspects, we have a lot that are very, very similar as well. And being able to, kind of open up people's ideas of, America, and being able to explain to them a little bit about what they see on the media, and how, it's not as bad as people may think. And then also being explained to about their cultures, and the perception I have from what I see on news and what I see, reading online. But it's been, basically, in summation, it's been kind of a rough beginning, but it's really improved and it's really been promising. And I'm really excited for the future. And even meeting people, a lot of people want to go to consulting, and that's kind of been the famous, or not the famous, but the very popular kind of subject for career, what they want to go into. I've met people that want to do extremely diverse and extremely different things, and it's been really inspiring to hear people and what they are passionate about and what they want to do. And it's made me a whole lot more inspired, and a lot more confident as well. And, in telling people, not only that I'm a computer science major, which people are, surprisingly impressed with, which I thought was normal, but also, being confident in what I want to do, and realize that, it's not really always about doing something that makes a ton of money, but doing a decision that really makes you happy, and that you're passionate about. So yeah. Also have been cooking a little bit. The other day I made omelets by, kind of this, I guess, the American way, with bacon. I had some mushrooms, had some green onions, had some cheese and tomatoes. And apparently it's really good, and no one has had it that way over here before. So I'm looking forward to cooking more, kind of more American dishes, to see if people like them, and to see if they enjoy them, but also trying their food as well. But yeah, so basically, been good, made friends, met people who are really cool and really diverse. Still looking forward to, eventually going back to America for a little bit, once I'm done with the program. But I've definitely have started to hit my groove and started to become comfortable and started to kind of understand everything. And so, again, with the whole, vlogging in public, still not really comfortable doing that, at least with my main camera that I'm recording on right now. But maybe I'll see about doing stuff with my phone, or if we do any kind of adventures, or any type of cool trips to do stuff like that. But it's been a little bit difficult to kind of justify walking around with my camera every single day when I'm just going to class and doing random stuff. But yeah, cool. Hopefully I put out another video in a decent amount of time, and maybe I will be more stressed or less stressed, and we'll just figure it out. All right, bye.